Thailand has the highest AI adoption in ASEAN, according to some research. 43% of Thai businesses now use AI consistently. 90% of Thai students. The country took to this faster than anyone else in the region. If you only read the headline, Thailand looks like it is running away with it. They do not need another chatbot wrapper. They have 12 of those. They need someone to rebuild an actual workflow. The unglamorous, deep, vertical stuff. Physical AI, industrial automation, retrofit robotics, the software layer for Tier 2 and Tier 3 suppliers who are getting squeezed to modernize. That is a real category, and Thailand is standing right on top of it. Right now, as this goes out, there are thousands of people in a convention hall in Bangkok. At the Queen Sirikit Center, Texas, 300 sessions, hundreds of exhibitors, and one word on every slide and every lanyard and every panel title. The word is next. The race to the next thing, the next model, the next unicorn, the next Thailand. So I want to do something a little contrarian this week, and I do not want to talk about the next. I want to talk about what Thailand already won, because it has won some things, real things, and nobody on that main stage is going to say them plainly, I imagine. And then I want to ask the only question that actually matters when the music is this loud and the capital is this cheap. Not what is next, who owns it? Because here is the number I cannot get out of my head. This year, Thailand pulled in more than $2 billion of AI data center money. Microsoft, Google, ByteDance, the whole parade. Thai AI startups, the actual companies, founders with cap tables, raised about $4 million. Same country, same year, 2 billion and 4 million. Say those two numbers back to back, and you do not need me for the rest of the episode, but stick around anyways, because the gap between them is the most honest story in Southeast Asian tech right now. This is Sea of Startups. I'm Kevin. Real, raw, relatable. Let's get into it with Thailand. So let us start with the money that is real, because a lot of it is. Microsoft has committed over $1 billion to Thailand. Cloud, AI, data centers running from 2026 through 2028. Google opened a Bangkok cloud region in January and put out a number, $40 billion of economic value over 5 years. ByteDance is building too. National IT spend this year is heading towards 1.1 trillion baht. If you are the Thai government, this looks like winning. The photos are great. Prime Minister, hard hats, ribbon, a rendering of a big gray building with a lot of cooling on the roof. And I want to be fair here, because this is not nothing. Data centers mean construction, power upgrades, some high-skilled jobs, a reason for engineers to stay. Real assets get built. That matters. But I have been doing this long enough to have one reflex when a big number lands on the table. I ask who owns the thing the number is attached to. So let's do that. Who owns the compute in those buildings? Microsoft, Google, ByteDance. Who owns the models running on it? Same thing, foreign names. Who owns the margin, the recurring high-fat software margin that compounds for 20 years? Again, same thing. And what does Thailand own? The land, the power lines, the water, the local JV partner that helped with the permits, the electricity bill. There is a phrase for this, and it is not AI hub, it is compute arbitrage. Thailand is renting out cheaper power, cheap land, and a plugged-in population of think it's 70 million people, to companies headquartered 8,000 miles away. The country is the host. It is not the guest of honor. Now, hold that against the $4 million that actual Thai AI founders raised this year, according to what I pulled out of Deal Street. The country can host the entire weight of global AI on its soil and fund almost none of its own. Here's the part I really want the founders listening to hear, because this is where it gets useful and not just my usual cynical. When you are at Texas this week, or you're reading about it after the fact, and somebody says Thailand's AI investment hit record levels, stop and ask them one word, one thing: Capex or equity? Because data center Capex, which is offshore owned infrastructure for the most part, and startup equity, which is Thai owned companies, are two completely different things. And this week, they are going to be blended into one big flattering headline every time. Capex builds someone else's assets on your land. Equity builds your asset. Full stop. The win for Thailand is not the ribbon cutting. It is the day a Thai company owns a real layer of this, something above the substation and the security fence. Until then, be honest about what you are celebrating. You are celebrating being a very good landlord. And there's nothing wrong with being a landlord. Ask Singapore, but a landlord does not become wealthy the way the tenant does. The tenant here is trillion-dollar American software companies. Just know which side of the lease you are on. Okay, so if the hyperscalers own the infrastructure, where is the Thai champion? Where's the homegrown AI company we can actually point to? But, well, there is one. It is called Amity. And it is genuinely impressive, which is what makes this segment interesting, because I'm not here to knock it. I'm here to hold it up to the light. Amity raised $100 million in a Series D back in March, one of the largest Gen AI rounds in all of Southeast Asia. Revenue over $100 million a year, up more than tenfold since 2022. Targeting 200 million by the end of this year, and lining up an IPO in 2027, based upon what I was able to come out with. By any measures, this is a real company. Enterprise AI, chatbots, and agents for big organizations, banks, government, retail. It's not just a deck and a dream. This is revenue. Now, here's the detail that tells you a lot about the ecosystem. Amity was founded by, and I probably should not even make attempts to pronounce some of the Thai names, because I will brutalize it. So I'll just refer to him as he's the grandson of the founder of CP Group and the son of the current CEO of CP Group. CP Group is the largest private company in Thailand. They own 7-Eleven across the country. They are the majority owner of True, the big telco. They are in food, in agriculture, in retail, in property, and basically everything you touch in a Thai day. So picture the founding conditions of this startup. You are building an enterprise AI company, and your first potential customers include the biggest convenience store operator in the country, one of the two largest telcos, and a web of banks and companies that all sit inside or next to your family's group. CP All, the 7-Eleven operator, True, PTT, these show up as Amity clients. Now, I need to be precise here, because the lazy version of this take is wrong, and I do not want to do the lazy version, because the lazy version is it is just selling to daddy's companies, and that's not accurate. The reporting is clear that only about 35 to 40% of Amity's revenue is generated in Thailand at all, and the company says the majority of its revenue and customers are now outside Thailand entirely. So it is not a captive shell. It is gone and won business in other markets. So credit where credit is due. The accurate version is more interesting than the lazy one anyways. Amity might have been born captive, and then it grew out. A family conglomerate handed a young founder something that no other founder in Bangkok can get at any price. A guaranteed home market. Banks, state enterprises, 7-Eleven, True, all as your first reference points. All while you are still figuring out the product. That is an extremely valuable thing in enterprise software, a trusted first customer who will not churn while you learn. He got a whole portfolio of them essentially at the birth of the company. And look, if I'm the investor writing that Series D check, I do not hate this. A de-risked launch market is a feature. It is why the thing scaled from 10 million to 100 million in revenue in 2 years. After taking almost a decade to reach that first 10, the family base was the launch pad. But here's the question I would put on the table if I were sitting across from them. And it is the question underwriters are going to circle before that 2027 IPO. How much of that 100 million plus in revenue is arm's length? Business won on the merits from customers who could have picked anyone? And how much is related party? Business that flows because of the name on the building. That is not an attack, that is diligence. It is the single most important number in the whole story, and it is the one that never makes the press release. If most of it is arm length, Amity is a genuine Southeast Asian software champion, and I would love to say that loudly on this show. If a big chunk of it is the family buying from the family, then the valuation is telling you a story that the revenue quality does not actually back up. I do not know the answer. Neither do you, neither does most of that convention hall. But now you know the question. And when a Thai founder tells you their startup is crushing it with enterprise logos, the first thing you should gently ask is, whose enterprise? Because for the 99% of Thai founders who do not have a billionaire relative, the lesson is brutal and important. Your hardest first year is finding a customer who will trust you before you have proof. And Amity basically skipped that year. You will not. So plan for it as a founder. Now, here is where Thailand genuinely leads. And here is where the lead is thinner than it looks. You started a company to build a product, not to run a back office. But here you are. You pay an accounting firm every month, and once a year, you get a clean set of accounts. That is compliance. It's not clarity. It will not tell you if you run out of cash in March. It will not tell you what one new hire does to your runway. And it will not answer the question every investor asks. Where's this business heading? So I built your CFO, your back office in a box. Your books keeps your accounting books current, and your CFO puts your forecast forward. In one login, your actuals flowing straight into your outlook. Link your strategic initiatives, like a hire or a price change, to exactly what it does to your runway before you commit. Investor ready, operationally ready, in the currency that you work in. It is the back office I run across my own companies. Get your finances settled for your business today at yourcfo.tech. That's yourcfo.tech. Thailand has the highest AI adoption in ASEAN, according to some research. Not second, first. There is an AWS report this year that puts it plainly. 43% of Thai businesses now use AI consistently, up from 32% a year ago. 90% of Thai students use generative AI. The country took to this faster than anyone else in the region. If you only read the headline, Thailand looks like it is running away with it. Then you read the next line, and the next line is the whole episode in one statistic. 74% of those AI adopters are stuck at what the report calls the basic stage. Off-the-shelf chatbots, ready-made tools. Someone in the office has ChatGPT open in a tab. A few people are pasting things into it, and the actual work, the workflows, the decisions, the output has not really changed. Longtime listeners will remember when I talked with Tiwa York about this exact thing. He called it the level 1.5 trap. A company where AI is bookmarked, mentioned in the strategy deck, played with by a few keen people, and yet nothing downstream is different. He called it adoption theater. Well, Thailand has just gone and proven that you can run adoption theater at the scale of an entire nation. And I want to be careful because first to adopt is not worthless. It means the workforce is not scared of those tools. It means a founder in Bangkok is selling into a market that already says yes to AI instead of flinching at it. That is a real tailwind. Do not throw it away. But adoption is not advantage. Bookmarking ChatGPT is not a moat. It is table stakes. If the whole country is at level 1.5, then the whole country is standing at the same starting line, and the race has not actually even begun. So here is the opportunity, and it is a real one, and maybe the best applied AI opening in the region. The gap between 43% are using it and 74% of them are stuck at basic is a market. The gap is thousands of Thai businesses who have said yes to AI and have no idea how to go from playing with it to running on it. They do not need another chatbot wrapper. They have 12 of those. They need someone to rebuild an actual workflow in Thai, on Thai documents, Thai regulations, Thai customer behavior, the unglamorous, deep, vertical stuff. Take one industry, one painful process, and move a Thai company from level 1.5 to 3. That's probably not going to be the tech sauce keynote. That is a boring, valuable, defensible business, and the demand is already sitting there, pre-warmed and waiting. The country that adopts the fastest and builds the least is leaving the entire middle of the value on the table. If you are a Thai founder, that middle is yours to take. Nobody in that hall is really talking about it because it does not sound like the future. It just prints money. Now, let me stop being the skeptic for a minute because this is the part of the episode where I am actually bullish, genuinely. Thailand keeps trying to win a race it has not built to win, which is the pure software, pure model, out-innovate Silicon Valley race. And it keeps quietly sitting on top of a thing it already dominates and barely talks about. Thailand makes things. Thailand is the largest automotive manufacturing hub in Southeast Asia, more than 1.8 million vehicles a year. Toyota, Honda, BMW, Mercedes, and a deep decades-old base of Japanese Tier 1 suppliers. It's basically the Detroit of Asia. And for once, the nickname is really earned. And where you have factories at that scale, you have robotics. Thailand's industrial robot density is somewhere around 70 to 90 robots per 10,000 manufacturing workers. That is second in Southeast Asia behind Singapore, and it puts Thailand in the global top 15 or so for installed industrial robots. This is a country that already runs automation at national scale on the factory floor. So here is why that matters right now, this year, and not some abstract strength. Two things are happening at once. One, a huge part of that robot base is old, 10, 15 years old, installed for the old way of building petrol cars. It is due for a replacement. Two, Thailand has a plan called 30 at 30. 30% of vehicle production electric by 2030. And a wave of Chinese EV makers are pouring in to build there. Put those together and you get a full retooling of the most sophisticated manufacturing base in the region. Old lines ripped out, new lines for EVs going in, automation getting rebuilt from the floor up. That is not a data center gold rush that Thailand watches from the sidelines. That is happening inside Thai factories, on Thai shop floors, with Thai engineers who have been running robots for 20 years. This is where a Thai founder has an unfair advantage that a founder in San Francisco could never buy. Proximity to the machine. Physical AI, industrial automation, retrofit robotics, the software layer for tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers who are getting squeezed to modernize. That is a real category, and Thailand is standing right on top of it. And there is a hint that this is starting. A company called Amity Robotics, and yes, same Amity family of brands, closed a $7 million seed round in July. Backed by East Ventures, building physical AI, concierge robots. 7 million is small compared to the other large numbers, but it's a meaningful round in this part of the world. But it is also a signal. Physical AI built in Thailand for a world that runs on a lot of Thai-made hardware. I would argue that $7 million seed is a more important sentence about Thailand's future than the whole billion-dollar data center announcement, because one of them Thailand owns and the other one it rents. Now, the honest risk, because I'm not going to sell you the bull case without a catch. The same Chinese EV makers who are bringing the capital are also bringing their own automation stacks, their own robots, their own software. If Thailand is not careful, it ends up doing what it has done before, assembling other people's cars with other people's robots, running other people's code, busy, employed, and not owning the valuable part. The next move, the one that actually builds Thai wealth and not just Thai employment, is Thai companies owning the automation layer, not just the assembly line, the intelligence on top of the assembly line. That is the startup I want to see pitched. Not another generative AI copywriting tool. A team that walks onto the factory floor in Rayong, looks at a 15-year-old robot cell and says, we can make this thing think. And we are Thai and we are cheaper and closer than anyone you would fly in. That founder can win. That founder will own something. That is the version of next worth racing for. So here is where I land. Texas is going to be a fantastic event. It is every year. And the energy will be real and the rooms will be full. And much of it is going to have a layer of hype and a layer of truth. But the question that hall is not asking, the one I want you walking around with, is not what is next. It is next, but owned by whom? Thailand has the users, highest adoption in the region. Thailand has the factories, best manufacturing base in Southeast Asia. Thailand has the infrastructure, billions of dollars of it, going into the ground right now. What Thailand mostly does not have yet is Thai ownership of the value sitting on top of all three. The founders who fix that are not going to be the ones building the shiniest thing for the main stage. They are going to be the ones putting real applied AI into a back office or a factory line in Rayong or a boring workflow inside a Thai bank that has said yes to AI and has no idea what to do next. Bet on the boring strength. Own the layer above the thing everyone else is renting. That is the Thailand episode. If you are at TechSauce this week, go find the founder no one is putting on the keynote stage, the one solving something unglamorous and Thai and real. That is who I will be writing a check to. Real, raw, relatable. I'm Kevin Brocklin, and I will see you next week. And that does it for this episode of Sea of Startups. If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, please give it a like, give it a review, subscribe to our channel. A little bit of feedback goes a long way in allowing us to keep on putting out these kind of episodes.